All right, family. All right. I'm family. Welcome back and welcome in. A good afternoon to y'all. Saturday, the 21st of June, 2025. Again, Juneteenth weekend, family. So we're going to keep the good train rolling. Technically, the conversation that I will talk about today, I probably could have saved for tomorrow, giving the kind of context that will be spoken about. However, we cannot, again, we're focusing in on our black brothers and sisters. We're focusing in not solely on them, but this topic does truly involve all people, while at its core, excuse me, family, we're going to have to deal with certain things today here. So your boy may get a little animated. Again, get ready. Okay. This thing involves all the people groups, family, while we are focused upon one. How good are we at doing that? Right? Because this is another defense massa uses. It's no different than this whole thing with all this deportation and a lot of the stuff that you see online. Some of my friends and stuff, as you go across social media, some of the platforms and things that you hear, and again, everybody's got a different view, right? But as this thing goes, family, some stuff ought to move people when you hear what they're saying. You know, it ought to move you, right? There are certain things as Christians, right? Because we Christians out here, we believe in Jesus and all that kind of thing, right? Like we said, your boy is Christian, and again, this is a good time to shine the light on some things, family. Again, right? Because I share inside of a household of faith does not mean I'm okay with what's going on inside that house. And for as much as people might get mad at folks who cross-dress and wear church clothes and go shout hallelujah in church, okay, or whatever it might be, at the end of the day, family, okay, the maker above is going to call all that out, whether it's right or wrong. And while we are quick to judge down here, that we may, family, we might want to be careful with that. While with that said, let's say this here. Welcome in us who are almost to 1,300 plus strong, who believe in, who love after, who have fun with, enjoy. This weekend is a time of enjoyment, family, as much as it is reflection. You're going to get your meditation in this weekend, I bet you that. Because when you look at the word meditate, it's talking about something to think on, family. We're going to have something to think on this weekend, I bet you that. You will watch how quick people do their best mental mamba dance and tapping and stepping around certain things that they don't want to look and focus in on, family. We telling you the God's honest truth, which unfortunately is a pattern for life that we have created. But we here think on, seek and search for, hunger and thirst for that which is a different view. Family, welcome in. Again, we got a lot of folks out here who like to judge, family. They are quick to judge. Your Bible talks about that your feet should not be quick to evil. Family, stirring up that level of mess, that's got nothing to do with holiness. Telling y'all, hang in, man. Y'all hang in. It's got something to do with the opposite, family. We're about keeping up mess out here under the guise of holiness. There's a difference, right? And as people, we got to be almost like, again, talking from a Christian perspective on all this. We got to be like Jesus talking to the enemy, the devil, right? The one with the pitchfork and everything, right? This one, again, the Bible speaks an analogy, even though that was, especially from Christians, right? That's actual story, but pull the analogy from it. Family, there's a way that you got to talk to folks when you know they are operating in an adversarial mindset. If you talk to them, number one, we don't spend time here talking to folks that's full of, but every once in a while you're going to have an occasion where you speak to these folks, especially if you're going to protest and all these other kinds of things. You got to, again, we ain't out here to get emotional with you. While emotion is there, family, we ain't out, it's the combination. Again, that which was the anger and that which was the sadness and that which was the hurt, the pain, the bewilderment, then combined with the knowledge that you start reading and rereading the account of these fools on these lands, family. It don't matter what they saying no more. It's a thing between the actions of ancestors, the actions of their descendants, between them, the rest of us, and God Almighty. We are playing a very bad game, family. You didn't create this. It is wrong for us to deny folks who need help, family. You have sucked. Listen, we're just saying what it is. If you don't believe it, so be it. We have sucked at the teat of massa too long. That milk coming from massa it's in our bloodstream. It's in our system. And when you talk about again, being a Christian, you got to wash yourself with the water of the word. And in this case, the word of life, dealing with the people groups down here. And you see the penalty thereof by which we cannot do a thing, family. You see it. You can see it. You know why you got problems at work and they constantly keep calling you back and calling you back and calling you back, so you were okay allowing for this type of mentality to happen on these lands. So we all, family, as a result now suffer. They broke apart families so that someone else could be enriched, and you won't stand up against that. You see the same kind of process on the job, family. They don't give a damn about you going home. Yeah, they'll give you a couple days here and there, but they totally gutted the way it used to be for the worker, because the way this thing is that the worker is to be minimalized and suffer at the cost of the boss while they deny it. Okay, this is the game they have created. The adversary has created, family. And again, we wrestle not with their physical. See, this is in the mind. This is in the unseen. That would cause a parent to pass down to child a thing that would tell you as a female to clutch your purse close when the black man walked by. Where do you think all that came from? See, renew your mind. You think the black man is just given to thievery? Foolishness? Do nothing, know nothing, negrodom? Is that what you think it is? Or is there high levels of corruption there? And then where did that corruption come from? Is it innate in them? Or can it be something placed upon them they learned, same as you? Let us be set free from the crap massa gave us. It can't be said no plainer than that. Or maybe it can be. Let's play this video here from Pastor Kevin Johnson in Harlem. I'm trying to figure out where the preacher went. I know you don't want to get involved, and I know this is all about heaven, and I know what you've been saying because I've heard it my whole life, and there is nothing new under the sun. So for as much as you speak in regard using the Bible to talk about this kind of mess, and before I forget, family, let me just do what your boy normally forgets to do, which is kill the sound. My apologies, okay? Let's play this clip. Maybe this is the opposite of what everybody else is saying out there today, family, right?
Beloved, as I look at what's taking place in America, America is reminding us who she really is. Anytime you see that the least of these, those who are the least, the unlucky, and the left out, are now being profiled all because of the color of their skin, America is showing us who she really is. Anytime you see those who are just trying to make it and just trying to provide for their families and for each other, America is showing us who she really is. And what's so damning and so demeaning and so destructive is that the same people who came across on the boat, came here to Ellis Island, are now trying to prevent other people from coming here to this country. Beloved, America is showing us who she really is.
Now, brother, I don't know, because see, this is the kind of message you get from people. Just up until the time you start studying history with your heart open to what is about people. not this paycheck garbage they keep giving you, right? You know the price of everything going up, going up, going up. They making news articles. You watching it on the 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock news. The same damn story over and over again where they do not care. They're letting you know. AI running muck wild all over the place. What is that? You got good men and women who are able and have a computative mind to be able to run this. No. I know the excuses that are going to be used. Well, KJ, you know, it's going to help with the efficiency of the blah, 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 blah. This is how easy it is when people start sucking down masses syrup, masses soda. This is what it sounds like. This is what you hear from folks. Abandoning the natural design. You know, when Romans is talking about the natural use, you can come up off that homosexual stuff. Do you know what the natural use is? Using this this good God-given earth for growing corn and growing potatoes and nursing the animals that we use, that when we do kill them, that we eat them properly. Sounds like the people group who were here when Europe came calling. That now those descendants thereof and their friends got a problem. But they came here no problem. You know why? Because there was no rule to come in here. Because there's already one set there. You don't have to make it. And it came from God Almighty. These Christians sitting here in their piosity. And it stinks. The rest of the world can see it. They smell it. And they're telling you about it. That's why church attendance drops. You want to talk about the relationship that's been broken. And it started by people groups saying that they knew what the Bible was. The most literate go back into Europe. Since this is where this all came from. This is how they're saying it all came from. We know knowledge is not coming from humans like that. But I digress. Oh, KJ, you just mad, this, that, and the other. I'm trying to figure out why other people are not. And we know why. While there is a reaction that everybody has to certain things, we get it. But that is not always the case. Again, things parading around a form of godliness. And if you could have a form of godliness, you could have a form of things that are ungodly too. We're fronting, family. The youth say it is that we capping out here, right? It's cap. When you look up, since this brother brought up something about Ellis Island, what was going on with Ellis Island, family? Now, we're just talking about Ellis Island, of course. This is the second time around that Europe allowed their people over here to drown out the people already here. What you sow, you gonna reap, family. And it's funny how Christians do that holy bunny hop. This go for Catholic, again, liturgical, non-liturgical. I don't care which one of y'all. If you believe on the tenets of the Bible, holy books and texts that show of the glory of God, right? If any of y'all are like that, there's certain things here you should have a problem with. And you want to get on the reformist and the Protestant? Of course they should have had something to say. We Christian, we got something to say. You know the Nicene Creed and the Council and all that back then, right? Christians today need to have another one. Because there's some clear conversation that has to be had here. Just like black folks need to have a conversation. We got to work together, family. We mean mugging out here because of who we married to, and a lot of other these things, what music we listen to, all the silly things that master divided you up on, your ancestors up on the plantation about. It's time to let that go. Before in Ellis Island, family, again, what do you do? Very simple. Don't get it twisted, family. Mass is your open enemy. So they're going to leave again, and they believe they have conquered already. So certain information is there for you to see, just as a reminder. What were the laws for migration before Ellis Island was created? Because this is what this brother just finished saying, right? There were very limited federal regulation of immigration into the wait. It's not called Britain colonies, right? Because we play that dance. That's another one that Master uses that we have to unfortunately navigate through because that's a real thing. Again, at one point these were British colonies. Then all of a sudden it became the United States. Anyway, y'all. We can keep doing the dance around it. It's fine. We got nothing but time. Again, listen. We understand how Massa operates, okay? This ain't no threats. This ain't no. We're talking about history right now, and how it works. That's it. The same historical books during the Holocaust and biblical books during the Holocaust that Adolf Hitler was okay burning. But we stand up for that justice, though, right? And in this case, not so much, or do we still? Again, it's got to move you some sort of way, family. Right? It's got to move you some sort of way. There were very limited ones into the United States from the late 18th century. Okay. Wait, 18th century. Wait, let's do this now. 1701 to 1800. Right? This is what we said. Okay. Because we kept messing that up. All right. So that's the late 18th century. Let's just come on now. Let's all do this. Let's all do this together. You can educate yourself on the fly, family. Stop believing what Master be telling you, man. Yeah. The 18th century, 1701 to 1800. So in the late 18th century, when this article is telling you this. Now, again, what article are you talking about, KJ? Again, type in your Google search on your computer, phone, wherever. What were the laws for migration before Ellis Island was created? Okay. Very limited. So the late 18th century would mean the late 1700s. Wait, wouldn't 1776 count in there? Oh, yeah, it would. Okay. So from then to the late 19th, what's the 19th century, family? Right? So the 19th century would be 1801 to 1900. So there's following suit. It's just numbers. It's numerical, right? 19, 18, 19, right? We're not knocking anybody's education, family. Like literacy and stuff is a problem in this country. Of course, Mass has got a hold of education, so the same problems that you would have saw in England is what we're telling you about. Go back and study. The same issues you have there, because this is Europe 2.0 here, you will find here, family. Come on, that's not hard to deduce. Anyway, the U.S. generally had an open border policy. Oh, we won't close them now. And wait, this is right about the time, family. Hold on now. This is right about the time in the conversation, right, when people want to stay stuck. Did you wrong and you this and this is mistaken, and then they start doing their mathematics, trying to show. This is no different than like the what you call it? The sorcerers during the time of Moses and that whole thing, right? Or these tax collectors and people that Jesus whipped out the temple. Or it doesn't matter when, family. The same thoughts is in these people's mind, no matter what generation you look at. The way our Muslim brothers and sisters say it, and it's not a knock on all of our white brothers and sisters, but we're just saying how one group of people looks at the thing, right? The white man is the devil, regardless of time and place. Now, like I said, we understand over here. We're just saying for us over here. On a different view, we believe that it's not all people. However, you can still see it going across the world, family. Come on. The brother said, what this brother is saying is not wrong, y'all. You go across the world, whether it be in Australia and Europe's dealings in Australia. We talked about Hawaii when we spoke on how my wife and I, shout out to you, honey, went to go see, Lilo and Stitch and Ohana, and I saw the flag there, right, family, right? Britain all over that flag, okay? Dealings in Japan, right? Especially the Portuguese, again, still Europe, family, right? All of this is not Britain. But a lot of this mess is Europe. Just saying what it is. Again, a small part. Look at the landmass now. It's a small part compared to the rest of the planet. Primarily the white, pale skin tone, right? That when the sunlight hits, red does come to the front, okay? They got the less to no pigment, melanin, right? Again, look at the people groups. Study these things. This mess is spread by these folks, family. You got to watch out for them kind of people. It's one thing, and it's bad in and of itself to fight inside against your own people groups. This is what you see on Andor. The rebels sitting there fighting each other. Why would the rebels fight each other? Then again, it does take some time for things to click. But again, you still got to ask the question. That's how you get there. Open border policy is what the U.S. had back then. Because again, they're inviting over their people. The idea and take over definitely by the time you hit the 18th and 19th century. You want to tell me there was kind of wibbly wobbly through this in the 1600s, right? But by the time that quote unquote American Revolutionary War, yeah, they already had it planned, family. We're still stringing along our black brothers and sisters. See, we done fought in every one of the wars. So what we're talking about, it's time for us to step out on our own. When do we do that? Largely encouraged and relatively unfettered. State, local laws, and procedures primarily governed the process of port entry. So again, the states had it. Just like the states got their hand in a whole lot of other stuff now. Like the states had their hand in COVID. So some places was playing around with being 6 foot apart because there's less people and all that. See, again, you falling for that okie doke. Stay 6 feet apart. If people are sitting here, listen, since we want to get on Asian brothers and sisters, if they had made a weapon of mass destruction to kill everybody, again, looking through history, whether we want to hide behind this two wrongs don't make a right thing, again, what you sow, you reap. So you want to mess around with Asia, that thing comes back to you. That's all. Hey, let's not get mad on the thing. Let's be better about it. That's all. Europe has had its dealings, family, in Asia. We're going to act like that's not a thing? But those people just sat over there and it's just like it all just magically went away. We're missing the heart of a thing, y'all. Nobody's saying violence is supposed to happen. Again, like we talk about in families. Stuff happened between your brother and sister. What you think will happen? You think listen, brothers who sit there and bully their sisters, do you think she's not going to take a frying pan to the top of your dome? Come on now, what are we doing? We're just not thinking the thing. We're not thinking the thing through in an open heart. That's what's missing. But the Bible had already said it, right? Federal laws primarily focused on citizenship through naturalization. Now, that's fun for me, right? The hell is naturalization? I could kind of, pick it. Like I've already looked at this, but the first thought that came to my mind was something, it has to do something with natural, like you being there. Right? You're of nature. Grass is, natural to this planet. It is of this planet, right? It's not what's growing on Mars. Okay. So, naturalization's definition is the process by which a foreign-born person, let's say it again now, foreign-born person. See, it's funny that this man is messing around with birthright issues. That's the first thing he hit as soon as he hit in office, Mr. El Presidente Donald Trump. And folks will fall for the okie doke with that. That's okay. You don't really, a lot of us are learning and don't know history, so you wouldn't see a lot of this stuff. Or if you have seen it, you're trying to hold it just to make sure it stays to a certain group of people, which would have been the original problem from the beginning, which is not to hold it to one group of people. It would be to share amongst us all. Again, naturalization is the process by which a foreign-born person voluntarily becomes a citizen. Everybody who was listen, you're in the my great-grandpappy is blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're not dissing your family here, but we got to understand the context in which all this is. You got to recognize the nation held back whole groups of people that was here. Again, the governments of people, Europe come in here, establishing their whole thing, colonies, blah, 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 set up their whole law system. where black folks could go, how many of them could be together. These are the black codes and slave codes we talk about. We talk about the Willie Lynch letter. We're picking through age, right? We're picking through height. We're picking through stature, as the word height goes. We're picking on sex, or AKA gender. And we can sit here and play this game. We can, oh, this ain't real. This ain't disproven, family. Listen, that's cool. You can keep all that for yourself, okay? Just look at the information and compare it to people's actions. Again, you've been given more than, listen, that's fine. You can tell me that, tell me the letter fake. I'm good with that. At the end of the day, we comparing the actions, family, to see what is actually real. What you do you think? What you think? I mean, I'm just asking, what do you think, family? Do you think that these things are real or are they not? Too close if you ask me, family. Right? Too close if you ask me. I'm just trying to see something here while we're going along here. Maybe I can get a hold of it, or if not, I can't. That'd be fine. But again, we don't already looked at it. It's just certain things I wanted to bring out to the class here per se as we're going along that I cannot seem to find here. But this letter, family, I mean, this is real. We're talking about, this is how you keeping a slave, family. Let's see. What is this here? These methods have worked on my, yeah, okay, so I found it. These methods have worked on my, you go to Internet Archive, archive.org/details/ the Willie Lynch letter, or, you go to Internet Archive, just type in the Willie Lynch letter. You can still find it. For everybody who keeps thinking this thing is fake, I don't know why it's still up here. See, again, when they conquer you, family, it's the same thing. You shoot down, we talked about this before, you shoot down the deer, you walk around, you walk people have a certain thought process, like you walk around, you're conquered. Never mind. I'm gonna leave it alone for some folks to pick up on it. These methods have worked. We're just gonna leave it there. We're just gonna leave it there for y'all. You put. We got to be good at putting the two and two together, family. A lot of folks like walking around looking at this mess like this, because to them it seems like it's you didn't screw the rest of society, but for some they look at this as like this is conquest. You know what I'm saying? Like this is okay like this. Which clearly you hear in their discussions, they believe it's okay like this. Like, hey, yo, man, ain't no crying over spilled milk. It don't already happen, blah, 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 blah. Still the government of which you sitting there arguing for is screwing you. You don't want to look at it that way. You're okay with what it is. These methods have worked on my modern plantations in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple list of differences and think about them. It's another thing. People ain't thinking about nothing. They sure enough they use their mind to think on this. And we thought old Big Mama was wrong saying that the devil's idle hands is the devil's workshop. Maybe if these people were less lazy and would work their own damn plantations, you wouldn't have had time to do. Never mind. We'll leave it alone, right? Again, this type of mentality is in your workforce. This is the model in which they built this thing, family. Let's see. Whoops. I turned the page by accident. Oops. Let's see if I can get back here. Yeah. Age. So the first one is age. But we only start there because it's A. These fools just making up, just being weird. Again, you're using your creative mind for stuff like this. The second is color or shade. Intelligence. We falling for Master's joke, man. Size, because the joke is we're going to be lazy and we're just going to make up these things to do it. These things don't actually constitute none of this. This is the sick list we made up. Size, each person has their own process, family. But again, when you're talking greed, it looks twisted like this. Intelligence, sex, size of plantation, status on the plantation. So I guess a lot of field niggers who wanted to stop working would have definitely tried to get in that house, right? And you would have did so by any means necessary, wouldn't you? Be careful of the house, Negro family. We're just saying what it is. There's enough that's already in every person. You be careful of those who sell out. This is what it is. It's like they say in WWE, like John Cena. This Jey Uso and R-Truth mess family, I don't know what to tell you. Black folks, you better get your own wrestling promotion because they playing games. And they're okay with it. They made Rikishi apologize. Why should he apologize for what he's saying? The WWE writers that we done watch creative be horrible for a long time, family. It's the same old mess. Never mind. Never mind. As long as people keep going and making them rich, it won't matter anyway. Let's keep this again. See, same kind of conversation that Rikishi was having. Why should the workers that are putting in the work get the raw deal, but the owner is okay using those same workers? We have this conversation with the UFC. We have it with sport because, again, you can't escape life, fam. It's weird how we do that, but you can't. Hopefully the Oklahoma City Thunder win this thing, and really more or less so, not just because it's not for the NBA to benefit, because they will, but at the end of the day for something over in Oklahoma where black folks have been horribly mistreated in this state. That maybe they have a little something, even at symbolism level, to hang their hat on. Unfortunately, I know for my black brothers and sisters conscious out here that's going to listen to the podcast, I know it's supposed to be more for that. We're just saying something. Okay. I agree with you. It's got to be more than just black. It's got to be more than black achievement. It's got to be black. It's got to be black ownership at this point, because that's the part that was taken away, right? Hairstyles, all types of mess this man put out. That's not what life's about. That's not where we at. 30 minutes. Let me let this thing play, man. Let me finish letting this thing play.
You, but I've got to the place in my life where I believe in God, and the only king I will worship is God. I will never worship an earthly king in my life. We serve a risen king.
I'm just gonna let Snoopy play in the background while that was finishing up there. Then we're gonna get into this next video. This is the next one here, just kind of trying to hammer home the point, family. I don't know. It really is something that's already been simply said, but it has to be restated because, again, you got one side here who likes to two sides talking, right? The balance of energy is good and evil. Okay. Again, this is the balance. So for wherever you have good, you're going to have not good. Okay, or the opposite of good, however you want to say it, right? So again, family, we got to come together. We got less of the issue. Same thing. Black folks look at their homosexual brothers and sisters, and when we say brothers, we're talking brothers and sisters. Let that go. Let that go. We don't care if you think that thing came from Europe or all kinds of stuff that listen, family. All kinds of stuff that I've heard, y'all. Listen. Love and respect, man. What that energy you show, it will come back to you. I'm just saying. I know they told you to kill this one and do that, and Lord, man, listen. This is there's a certain kind of thought process, family, that we gotta have, man. I don't know. Same kind of thing here. Chapter 8 of the Wisdom of Sirach, man. Verse 13. Do not give surety beyond your means. Surety, we've read it in, it's another word that we have read before in an episode from the Bible. I believe in the Proverbs, where you're not surety for a friend. Again, this kind of idea, family, don't put yourself out there so much. Okay, this is not People in their defense in their mind here of how you prove people will then tell you things like, well, you just got to trust people. Yeah. You can trust a snake to always be a snake, a rat to always be a rat, right? You can always count on a rhinoceros to be a rhinoceros, count on or trust, same kind of thing, right? These things, we got to recognize people as they are, family. This is where the black man and woman, this is where our native brothers and sisters, that's where they made a mistake with the European coming over to these lands. And yet the action that you used in return was to hurt them as they gave you trinkets and they gave you gold. These are things that you read in history when the European came, how different people groups reacted. The Taino people over in Puerto Rico did the same thing when the colonizer came calling. And you used it instead of leaving those people alone or sharing their land. You used it to take from them. There's a certain stain on that's there, family. That only happens to clean itself off when we are good to these people. It's time for us to be good to each other now. Yes, you're walking in history, family. These are the descendants thereof. Let's stop playing a game like that's not the case. And it's time to start being good to each other. Recognize the wrong. Again, you break the situation by being good to each other. Let's continue.
It was wealth, and wealth is power. If you don't own any assets and resources, you don't have any wealth. Consequently, when you put 100% of everything of value in this society in the hands of the dominant white group, blacks haven't got a snowball's chance. They can't make it. It's impossible. It is academically impossible and theoretically impossible right now for black folks to continue to exist without reparation. They got nothing. You don't own and control anything.
Black Americans have been systematically, socially engineered into the lowest level of a real-life monopoly game. You do not own and control a sufficient amount of anything to be competitive in America. You're going down.
What we want to do is get about the business for the first time in the history of this nation, design a policy that is strictly devoted to the economic and social reform of black America by giving them a national plan that would be proactive in resolving some of the major impediments and conflicts and developing broad racial strategies for dealing with white racism in this country.
After all my years in politics and national politics and international politics, I left the government, said that somebody got to get out here and start raising Cain on behalf of black folk.
I see myself as an empowerment pragmatism, saying how do we get where we need to go as quickly as possible to save ourselves from becoming a permanent underclass in this country by the year 2013.
And one of the ways that you say will not work is integration.
You cannot get equality through civil rights and integration. What decides your opportunities in America is what you own and control.
Why would you ever do anything that breaks yourself into smaller pieces when you're already a plan systematically programmed the minority? Time is up. You have made as a race every religion, every ethnic group, every racial group rich. There is nobody else left on earth to make rich but yourselves.
I want to pause there while we're talking. This is a shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson, right? And again, this is why we're on the close here. We're 38 minutes, we're about to close up. Let us go on and enjoy the rest of this thing, man. Again, celebration and reflection, family. My God. Don't you believe the lie of the devil? Again, right? We're not just talking about adversarial thought process. Don't believe the lie that tells you you should not get involved with the pain of your other brother, sister. That is a lie, family. The only way you make it is by staying connected with each other, helping each other as much as you can possibly. Again, as your Bible says, if it be at all possible. No, Christ was right, man. The heart of a thing waxed gross. It waxed gross. Not only another verse that says cold, it waxed gross, family. And you can see that it looks gross how we act with each other. It's sick. Oh, these people, no, they're going to come over and this one, your ancestors came here with no regulation. How dare you? Instead of talking about reform from the opposite side, you would stand on the ivory white tower. with your thumb up in the air, supposed raised, symbol of power in your hand, and the other hand in the air, while you're looking down on folks, to tell you how much better you are than them when the power given to you is by the people. You can't integrate around that kind of thought, family. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. We're not against folks out here. We're just saying, how do you integrate around that kind of thought process? They always think you're supposed to be on the bottom. How do you integrate with those people? At some level, you would have to come away. And folks want to get mad here because folks want to move into the neighborhood. Black folk want to move into the neighborhood. Listen, just take your driving Miss Daisy ass on now. Go move on to the other side, since you're going to leave it with no resources and stuff. We know, we don't already watch the play. And let these people come in, leave them alone. Again, because all you're doing is just, you go and you burn their town. Now they're going to come back in some anger. That would be normal. So we're just keeping the mess going on. Allow these people to live. All right? And everybody else, y'all go doing your own thing. Let's continue.
If we don't solve these problems, blacks in America will become a permanent underclass of beggars and criminals. And an underclass means those individuals who, by the nature of their circumstances, will be forced to live as either beggars or criminals. That's where you're going.
Now, the reason you cannot win is that you've been locked into this low level of a real-life monopoly game. You do not own and control enough of wealth. See, in 1860, when you were 98% slaves, you had an ownership of 1/2% of this nation's wealth in 1860 on the eve of the Civil War. And here you are 140 years after slavery, when you're supposedly 100% free and you still only have 1/2% of this nation's wealth. You cannot compete.
Let's just, again, as we're saying here, right? Look at the numbers, family. Go test and see. You know everybody in 100, right? Okay. Go look up the numbers and see how much did black folks control in the 1800s. We just talked to you about reading. They didn't get that. They didn't get that settled in anti-literacy laws until, again, let me see if I still got it up. Let's just see. Again, see. My issues is that people just don't. You don't want to know. You know, like we're okay not knowing, but in not knowing, how does that work? You got to know. Let's just see here. Unless I know I had it there. Anti-literacy laws. Let's see. A whole lot of states, you just see this. A whole lot of states, they got acts, they're making laws to not, I'm trying to see, when 18th, let's see. So this is Norfolk, Virginia, because again, it was state to state to state. In Norfolk, Virginia, it wasn't abolished until after the Civil War in 1867, family. Do you know how much longer it would take them to learn knowledge? This is even with a very smart group of people on the planet. Because again, black folks have done miraculous things here. So this is a smart group of people. We got to, that's another one of those things that have been put out there. Black folks are smart. So leave that alone. I don't know, family. I don't know what to tell you. You got all this mess going on, man, and then you double down now, because what did we just read about Ellis Island while all this mess is going on? So 1867, we just finished saying, right? The late 19th century, they're bringing over people naturalization. The first Naturalization Act in 1790. Yeah, if you're telling me this is not for people to keep with listen, we got to share, family. This is what it looks like when people don't want to share. You know that? It's the same kind of way that in your family when you don't want to share. Brothers and sisters kicking and screaming. Or even mother and father, I dare say. Just Just what it looks like. 1790 granting citizenship to free white persons who had resided in the U.S. for 2 years. So could you at least let these folks live here for 2 years first before you start going crazy? It was the same. Wait. The government extended it to you. Can you extend it to? Gotcha. We get it. We get it. And again, we fall back to this thing. Well, they're the drug dealer and they're the rapist. And they're the drug dealer and rapist. Have we looked through the? Never mind. No, but it was so long ago. Again, people are disconnected in their heart, man. I'm telling you, you are watching and listening and hearing it in real time, family. I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
The typical average white person in America has 3,500 times more money than you have. You have not moved one iota in acquiring the most significant and the most important thing in our society. It is not civil rights. It is not integration that's going to give you equality and equal opportunity. Racism has nothing to do with attitudes, with prejudice, and with bias. Racism is a competitive group contest between people for resources and for superiority. And racism is a race without a finish line.
When you are talking about greed, family, that's how it works. Again, we get the other things are a byproduct. Well, like we have said on this podcast, right? Our prejudges are broken. So you naturally come in with the ability to be like, okay, that person over there is like, maybe not. And maybe that dog over there is probably going to do this. And see, you come in with that natural instinct. That's what we call it, instinct, family, right? That's just the transmitter between you and the maker. Y'all deal with that for what you will, okay? It's intuitive, all this types of stuff. With the earth, all that internal body clock. We just finished talking about that with like natural men's health and the great outdoors and how good the sunshine is for you. Yeah, these things are a real thing, family. But again, you sit close enough to massa and to have you discredit in everything. That's not how this works. Or at least everything except for the stuff that brings in benefit. This is how this works, y'all. All right? And all the different ways that we learn and teach each other on how to do a thing. I don't, again, we love people. This is not against not being around people, but people, when folks don't want your best interest, family, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna stay there and just die at it? Unless you're gonna fight to make the integration better. Which in that case, why y'all mad at the Mexican over here? You got to get rid of him. That probably is because of this competition that you think you're in. There is none. That's made up. Again, we say social construct, meaning it's made up. It's not part of society.
Doesn't have anything to do with voting. That's an intellectual masturbation process. Not one president, not one candidate for public office ever get up and say, here's what I'm going to do for black folk. Consequently, nobody's ever stood up and say, here's what black folk are going to get. You're talking about the candidates. The first thing these black folks should be asking is not what candidate you're going to vote for. Who cares? What you should be asking is, what are you going to get? If you ain't getting a damn thing, why are you voting? No black gave up his life to vote. He might have had his life taken from him, but he didn't give it up. So I'm not going to vote for anything, anybody, any candidate, any political party, unless they commit and tell me specifically and solely what you're going to do for black folk. But the two things.
Now, I got to stop here for 2 seconds. And again, we do this for fair use, family, right? You can't just free will. You got to, okay? You got to talk here. So my apologies on talking on the video here. Again, I promise we are coming to the close here. It's went a little longer than we thought, but it is what it is. Again, we got to have conversations like this. If you can't spend an hour talking about something, I don't know what to tell you. Especially when it's talking about life. And how we treat each other. Yeah, we definitely can take an hour a day out for that. Again, we do try to keep it. We understand and we're respectful of people's lives and stuff. So that's one. But again, just in the concept of talking, yeah. When we talk about this thing with government, and we did this on our election day episodes, right? Understand, y'all, that it's good to vote. It's good to be involved in your government. Again, both democracy, republic deal with how you look at a thing, regardless of whether you look at things in a liberal sense, definition, liberal, bounty, or conservative, where you are trying to keep a certain pattern of living. Because again, the two of those consist and exist on the same plane. But I digress. So at the end of it all, family, when you were talking about these candidates, which is why it was wild to me, and it's still wild to me, well, we talk about like the sanctity of a thing, like to show you the mental thing that's at work here. Because again, it's not there. We're falling for the same thing, brothers. Our brothers and sisters who hang out in the streets, the bully coons, the gang member. That's a false. That's a farcity. It's pseudo. They're gonna put your black ass in jail when they catch you. I know it's to be all Billy Badass, right? And they ain't gonna catch me, man. Screw the law and all that. Yeah, I get that. The real world concept though is they're going, and that our system is full of these. Listen, you're playing in today. Let go of that mess and start being no different than the light horse police that our native brothers and sisters had back in the day during the cavalry era, right? Again in the 1800s. Have your own community, your own neighborhood watch. Not to fleece them down, to keep them together. And ain't one of these presidents ever did that for the Negro. The earliest one that we talk about with George Washington promised freedom from slavery, didn't give it. Abraham Lincoln wanted to kick him out because he thinks, I keep this up on here just to reference this. On purpose, y'all, I keep it up here. Let's just see if this thing is going to work. It may or may not. It may or may not. That's normally how it's done. Here we go. A physical difference between the white and the black races, which I believe will forever forbid them from living together. But you're supposed to live together. The Maker made you that way. See, which one do you believe, family? Again, especially for our Christian brothers and sisters who operate in this mess. Which one is it? And again, you can see the evidence of them operating or at least using it improperly when you go into the Congo, all over the world. Wherever missionaries were, all this mess all over the world. Down south and stuff. This is why Catholicism reigns down south. With our Latin brothers and sisters. That's why Catholicism reigns supreme. But we've seen what our Catholic brothers and sisters did to our native ones in boarding schools, concentration camps. Hitting them, hurting them, cutting off their hair, stopping them from speaking in their language. Was that godly? How do you atone for your sins? You stand in the gap for your brother, sister now. No. So say it again. You stand in the gap for your brother, sister now. Against a government that clearly is in opposition to the darker skin tone folks of this planet. Do at least what Samson did. He hung out with Delilah, right? The whole nine. We know the story. Sold out his people. It's time to make amends. We ain't talking about the giving of your life. But again, there is a sacrifice. Christ already talked about it. If you love this life, you're going to lose it. It's a built-in sacrifice, family. You don't own this thing. It's time to be good to people. Let's sacrifice of that which is in our lives to make time for somebody else. Right? And we can live together. We choose not to. That's where I'm going to stop, family. Yeah. That's where I'm going to stop. Again, be encouraged this Juneteenth, man. We'll see if we get another episode in tomorrow. If not, this has been an awesome weekend, family, right? Understand we all we got. There's everything that's been given has been given. We got to stop blaming God and the devil for stuff and start understanding that the ball truly is in our court. Thank you, family, for walking this road with me. And as always, and until next time, look to find the beauty in a different view.